Hey everybody, how you doing today? It's a beautiful May Sunday with the warmer weather coming if you're in the northern hemisphere, and everything's looking great. Welcome to today's stream, start of a new series. We are doing South America, and that brings some challenges, specifically mountains and high elevation airports. So this could be interesting, and the first one we're going into, it could be interesting landing there as well. We'll have to see what happens. Joining us again today is Nick. He's over there in the LATAM A320, as I am as well, and I am in the special Disney World Star Wars livery for this tour. So this could be a lot of fun. Today we are flying from Bogota, Colombia, down to Quito in Ecuador. It's not a long flight. It's only just over an hour airtime, but the landing's going to be interesting, I'll tell you that. But before we start, and I'll mention this towards the end of the show as well, friend of the channel, Willie Canuck, who you've seen on some of the general aviation videos that we've got going, is a radio DJ over at Sky Blue Radio. And on May 9th, on his show at 1300 Zulu, he is interviewing Winfried Dijkman, the CEO of Aerosoft, and part of that is he is giving away, this is Dijkman from Aerosoft, is giving away a copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator Premium Deluxe and a copy of the Aerosoft CRJ 550-700. Will be given away on the show on May 9th. So if you're interested in that, there is a link in the description below. You'll see to the giveaway information page for Sky Blue Radio. You can click on that. It'll take you there, and it will tell you what you have to do for the giveaway. There's email you have to send and stuff like that. But looks like a good one, and he does good interviews. So you should check him out. Sky Blue Radio, internet radio station, and link is in the description below. So let's hop on board. We will start getting the aircraft set up here, and we'll get going. The weather's, I don't know, we could have rain here shortly, so let's get ourselves set up and we'll get going. There are a few aircraft in the area. We have 3 others on top of us too. Don't know when they're leaving, but they are filed. So let's hop on board. There we go. And the aircraft is plugged in as per usual. So batteries are coming on. External power is on. Brake pressure is checked and is in the green. Cockpit lights. I do have the dome light on, as it is a little bit gloomy out here. We'll get the panel lights up as well at this point. Usual setup. And we'll do the ECAMs. And the integrated panel. I'll do 1 notch of floods just for a little bit of lighting. And the always forgotten overhead panel. Crank that up as well. Instrument panels, displays of brightness are done. APU fire test. Let's make some noise. There we go. Crew oxygen on. Cockpit voice recorder test is done. We'll get the ADIRs up and running. There's 1, 2, and 3. Exterior lights. We got the nav and the logo lights are on for now. Seatbelt sign and portable devices signs are now on. And the emergency exit lights are armed. So cabin crew, you can begin boarding when ready. We got 170 passengers today. So we will see how long it takes to get them on board. Annunciator panels is fine. Probe and window heats is on auto. APU is turned off. We'll leave the temperatures in the middle for today. Fuel pumps are off. Engine fire tests. Engine number 1. Engine number 2. Very good. Flight directors are up on both sides. And the barrel. So let's get our flight plan in, and then we'll do a weather. Alright, so the flight plan is in. Send off the weather request. Into pull, I'm running on VatSim. So no multiplayer server. It's actually on VatSim itself. And there is the weather. We'll print that out. You're welcome to join me if you are on VatSim. Take a look at the weather. So what do we got here? 1300, so just over an hour ago. Winds are 320 at 3, scattered 1500, broken at 8000. Temperature 13, dew point 12, that's why we have the low cloud. And 1029er. So we'll get that into the standby here. Or 29er? Yeah, 1029. Wow. Fairly high pressure for up here. There we go, 1029er. You can see our airport elevation, like 8,300 feet right now. Okay, so that is set. And we are good there. So the winds are pretty negligible, so we're going to stick with the planned runway we have, which is runway 31 right. So back to the setup here on the EFIS. We're on ARC, we're on 10. You can go to 40 where I usually put you, and no constraints are plugged in. Now we do have, where is my departure? We've got a speed restriction in the turn and an altitude restriction at the first waypoint. So the speed restriction program in. Let's see if I can remember where to put it in. I rarely ever do it this way, so I think I'll just manually do it. It's a 205 knot restriction, but we do have an altitude restriction of 17,000 feet. We have to be under. Put that in. And our departure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This is your flight attendant speaking.
It's going to be 149.
At this time, be sure to make sure all large carry-on items are in the overhead bins and your small items are underneath.
And 205 knots.
If you have any trouble or need any assistance, please don't hesitate to let a flight attendant
Set up the radios. There is no ATC online
at
Bogota.
And it is full, make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers.
So going to 122.8.
Also be sure that the aisle is clear and sit down so that way other passengers can get by you. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card provided for you. Please make sure that you are able
So
and
we'll get
willing
all
to
the
perform these actions.
rest of the
If
data
you're
in
not,
here.
please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be reseated.
So
You are
our
free to
Tropo
use your
today,
portable electronic devices during the boarding process.
53.
We ask that larger electronic devices are secured once you
544.
depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Cost index of 25 is fine. 36,000 is our altitude. There's a little bit of a difference on the temperature, so I'm going to change that. It's negative 48. So that's now set. Get rid of those. And we'll go over to init B. So for init B, zero fuel weight is 59.1 tons, and our center of gravity is 29.5. Block fuel today, again it's an hour's flight, is 4.8. See, we're 4.8 on the fuel on board. So that is now entered in. We have a trip wind of a tailwind of 12 overall for the flight. And that is giving us an estimated 2.5 tons on arrival, and if we have to go to the alternate, it will be 2.2 tons. Hey, Captain Maddie, how are you? Performance 2 page. Nick, I don't have a performance 2. Oh, climb phase. Still don't think I've ever gotten that to work properly, but we'll put in 205. We'll see what happens. Now, Nick, just to clarify, will does that have to be in manage, or do I pull it out and select on the speed for that? So let's do the flight plan. So we are departing on runway 31 right. And we're using the Vapor 1 Romeo. And we're going to Orega. So we'll put that in and insert. Our arrival. The IFE, it's a short flight there, Cat Maddie, so it's just going to be a couple cartoons, and then we'll be doing our descent. It's we're only an hour flight time today. Let's see. There is no arrival for this airport. No star. We are doing the ILS Zulu for runway 36, and there is no transition either. Do both, sometimes it doesn't work. Okay. Right. Let's do our initialization, then we'll check the our performance, and then we'll check the flight plan itself. So our transition altitude today is 18,000 feet. Not sure if that's the same as North America, or if that's just this area of
We're on your time now.
South America. All right, everyone's loaded. So our reduction temperatures, our altitudes are all set. We have flaps 1 and 0.2 down on the trim. We're not flexing. We're way too high to do a flex. So it'll be a toga takeoff, 31, 132, 136. It's going to take us a little bit to get going anyway, because we're already at 8,000 something feet. 8,360 is the airport elevation. So we're going to have to do the toga for that. So that's all entered in, and if we look on the primary flight display, those are entered in and set as well. So we'll go over to our flight plan, go up to 40. So we're going to take off, we're going to make a turn, right turn, and come around here to SOA. Let's go over to the flight plan, and then from SOA we head down. There's Orega, and there, as you can see, the approach. We're going to come in, decel, and then around, and then come in and land on 3.6. Now the thing about this is there are mountains all the way around here, so this is going to be interesting, and the weather's not looking good either. So Who knows? Who knows? Like I said, mountains and high elevation airports. What could go wrong? All right. So the MCDU is in. Data is in. RadNav. I'm going to put the VOR we're heading to in. So that is the SOA VOR. SOA. And that is the one that is 10 miles from us, not 5,000. Turn that on now. It's currently behind us, given the way we're sitting at the airport. And IFR clearance, no ATC, we'll take that as given. IRS is our line. Flight plan has been reviewed. EFIS nav aids are set. Takeoff briefing is done. And we are squawking 7,000 in the box. And we're set to above and standby. So I think we're pretty much good to go. So, APU coming online. And APU starting. So like I've said, if you are on VatSim and you do fly and you want to come along with us, the streams are up on the channel in advance so you can see when we're flying. It is a pretty simple for SimBrief for planning. I do them about an hour, hour and a half before the flight, so that's what the weather is based on. And you're more than welcome to join us and come along for the flight. So there's 92%. APU is now up and running. So APU has started, the MCDU is set, the MCDU weights are all set, V speeds are checked, APU is available, APU bleeds coming up, and external power is now disconnected. We will remove the jetway. There she goes. And we will lock the cabin door.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 5556. Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 5 minutes.
So windows and doors are closed and locked. Cockpit door is
locked. We
locked.
ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now
Fuel
shut down
pumps
and
are
stowed.
on.
If you have not already,
Beacon
please
light
fasten
is
your
coming
seatbelt
on.
and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seat backs must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure. Cross-check, verify straps, and stand by.
Transponder
Cabin crew, secure doors for departure.
is in auto, although for some reason that's no longer turning it on in VPilot. Okay. Oh, it doesn't like auto. It wants it on. Okay. That makes sense. My week hasn't been bad. I'm in lockdown because of this stupid virus, and just been flying and playing around, not really doing much out of anything else. How's your week been there, Captain Matty? Alright, so let's call up the ground crew and we will get this push ready to go. Let's just see where we are going here. We're going to have to push to the our right. Alright, let's see where we're going. Bogota traffic, TAM 5556, push back and start, gate 17. We'll be pushing back far enough for any other traffic to push as well. Alright.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead, flight deck.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Roger. Release the parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes are released.
Parking brakes released.
Push it back.
And here comes the tug. Oh, put up the fly pad. We'll get that up and running. I do use that for my descent planning. And Where's the flight plan? Oh, 12 days. Oh, excellent. 21, that's a big one. Hope you've got a nice nice party planned for that one. So we'll put the ignition switch to ignite or start.
You're clear behind, and you can start your engines at your discretion.
Engines at my
When the
discretion.
seatbelt light is fastened,
Starting
please
number
make sure
1.
that your seatbelts are fastened low.
All right. Still always a bit of a guess to try to get this thing properly aligned on the taxi line. Take it out a little bit more, give Nick some room to get back as well. Vegas, wow. That's going to be either one to remember or you're not going to remember any of it. Oh, there's the other aircraft that are on VatSim. See them, a few of them. Although I do think there's some static aircraft. This is the enhanced airport from, let's get ourselves stopped here, from flightsim.to. So I think they've got some static aircraft
Pushback
in here.
complete. Set parking brakes, please.
Because
Crash is equipped with a whistle and a light.
we don't
Working
have that
brakes set.
many
Roger. Okay, the tow bar is disconnected and the
Aircraft set
equipment
to
is
depart out
clear.
of here.
We will see you on the right side with the beep.
Thanks, and you can disconnect and go to hand signals.
Thanks, have a good flight. See you later.
Seat backs and tray tables are in their full
Alright,
upright
so-
position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the
Good
lavatories
start on
is prohibited
engine
by
number
law.
1, starting
All of this
engine number 2.
information can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front.
We'll give that a listen to. There she goes. Yeah, you never know, Maddie. Sometimes it starts out that way, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, if you're not drinking, that's fine. Alright, so we have good start on engine 2, so igniters will come off. AP bleed comes off, APU comes off. So our before taxi checklist: auto brake, max spoilers are armed, flaps going to flaps 1, engine anti-ice. What is our air temperature here? Leave it off for now. If we get the warning, we'll turn it on. Flight controls: full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, full left, full right, neutral. Steering pin has been disconnected. Trim will be 0.2 down. There we go. Alright, and I can come off. Rudder trim is 0. And we get the nose light on for taxi. So we'll take a look at our chart here. Bogota traffic, TAM 5556, taxiing to runway 13 right via Echo Mike Kilo, holding short Kilo 1. Alright, let's parking brake off. I'm from Canada, in the Toronto area. Alright, starting taxi. Brake test, brakes work. TO config done. And when we get onto Kilo, we'll ding the cabin so that they can get themselves all seated in and ready to go. And Nick's going to push behind us once we pass, and he'll get himself set up. Okay, Maddie, I think you said you were from the States? West Coast? You're not getting the radio. It changed again. When you can play back, you can see I set it to 122.8. I don't know what's going on with vPilot. Can't wait till they get the new system up and running. There we go. TAM 5556 radio check.
Feature 5 now.
Alright, well, we'll see how long that lasts. Alright, let's get going again. See a little bit of lightning there. Anyway, there we go on Echo here. Again, like I said, this is the advanced or the custom freeware airport, and it looks really good. So that was Papa. We want to go on Mike here. He's added in a bunch of aircraft for the area. But looks a lot better than the default does. California, yeah, I thought you were West Coast. Alright. Taxi down, like I said, we're going to Kilo, which is the second of the two taxiways. And you can see the mountains there through the clouds. There's Hotel. And here's Kilo. Loving the markings on the ground. Make it a lot easier to taxi. It does make the airport look full having those other airplanes kicking around here. So we're going to go in, ding the cabin.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff.
So they are all set. For some reason my Navigraph charts aren't connecting to the sim. I did a check the other day and there was no update. It's very annoying. I'm wondering if a recent update broke something again.
Bogota traffic, land Chile 1880, taxi to 31 right.
So I haven't done a lot of flying down here in South America. I think I did a little bit of general aviation flying in Brazil, and I've done one, I think, airliner flight down here a little while ago, but other than that, nothing. So it's good to do this and see this part of the world as well. So, interesting paint scheme, Galaxy's Edge here. Of course, you got Mr. Stormtrooper on the back there. And the front of the airplane has got the helmet over the nose, which looks pretty cool. There's the weather we're heading off into as well. Very nice, and Nick should be coming out any minute now. All right. We're almost down at the end. There's a 737 took off a little while ago. He's heading to another airport. There's nobody inbound according to VatSim. Have I actually been to Disney World? Yeah, a couple times. Mostly as a kid, but I was there a few years ago with my sister's family and my nieces. So we went there over Christmas and New Year's a few years ago. Alright, so there's Kilo 1. So we'll stop and put on the brakes. So, before takeoff checklist, crew have been notified. Exterior lights are all coming on. Turn on everything to make us nicely visible. And strobes on. Nose wheel lights on. Anti-ice, I think we'll throw them on just in case. Packs are on. TCAS is set to above. And TARA. Transponder is on. Weather radar is on. PWS is on. We are TO memo no blue, and we're going to set 205 again as our selected speed for the initial part of the takeoff. So 205 is showing as our initial climb out speed, 17,000 as our first restriction, do not pass, which I don't think we will, but I'm not sure how far away that is. And we have our next one is 20,000 after that. 20,000? Yeah, 20,000 after that. So that's good. So that is all set. There's no traffic inbound that I can see. Bogota traffic, TAM 5556, take a position runway 13 right. became hard to talk there for a second. All right. And I'm going to turn my terrain radar on my side. I got the weather radar up. You can see that storm. It's all that darkness out there. I think we're gonna probably hit some rain when we take off, but we'll see what happens. Alright, so we're lined up. Packs on. Wing anti-ice and the cell anti-ice are on. Alright, here we go. Yeah, 13 right. And Bogota traffic, TAM 5556, rolling 13 right. %. 100 degrees no down, brakes released, and Toga power. Got Mantoga, SRS. You've gone and done that again, haven't you? I hate that thing. Let's see if it does it on that mode. .100 knots. Easing off the pressure. V1, rotate. And we are airborne. Positive rate, gear up. Throttle climb. AP1 coming on. And we're in nav mode, making our turn. Let's see if she'll hold to 200 and she's got 250. That's fine. We'll probably be out of the turn before we hit that anyway. We'll just hold her at flaps 1 until we're through the turn. Breaking out some of the clouds. Alright, there's flaps have retracted. Flaps coming up. So technically we're through the turn and we are off. There is Bogota. There's mountains all around. We're through 10,000 already, so we're accelerating. There's 17,000 restriction at SOA. Should be fine with that. Turn the ATX off at the moment. See how that does. Oops, no. Landing lights will come off. Strobes will stay on. Those will come off, and those wheel lights will come off as well. I'm going to leave the seatbelt signs on until 18,000 feet. Alright, we're through SOA, so that's now going to go up to 20,000. See the VOR coming around, so we're passing overhead. Look at those wonderful wing views. Getting into the clouds there. There we go. There's some mountains.
Gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galley or near the lavatory. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you will be required to pay a small fee. We do offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi to find out more information.
17,000. Still got that heavy weather off to our left. Disarm you. Fairly stable, so I'll release the cabin. And VatPom is 20,000, and then after that we can climb up to our cruise level. So it looks like we're going to be in the clouds for a minute. But one thing I am going to want to do is we have to be at 18,000 feet when we get to QIT. That's a VOR. So I'm putting that in there so that we know where we have to be. So when we do our descent profile, the altitude we're going to go from, you don't want it to sink. It's going to be 18,000 feet. We'll sync that up when we get higher, and that'll give us our distance out from QIT that I have to start my descent. Airport elevation for where we're headed is 7,900. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting arrival, that's for sure. And we got iced out. Ugh. Hate how it does that. And I think that's Nick behind us. You can see the light there. Alright, so once we pass over the waypoint, we will crank in 36,000 and we'll resume our climb to our cruise level. Oh, there's the moon. Very nice. We got 22 miles to go before we can climb. Dial that in now. 36,000. So we are ready. So this trip is going to take us down the west coast. To Chile, and then we kind of cross over near the bottom and then come back up on the east coast up into Brazil. See a lot of purple on that weather radar. A little bit scary. Turn off the... Ooh, flying through a lot of that, or at least over it, I hope. Terrain radar will come back on for our arrival, definitely. It is looking very nice out here. Not very cloudy. And once we start our climb, we'll throw on the entertainment. Everything is looking really good right now. Seven miles to go. Again, these restrictions are to allow for separation for aircraft coming in from above and all that stuff on descent. Hey Rish, how are you doing today? Okay, there's the turn. So we will start our climb to 36,000. And we are en route. So that turn marked the end of our departure. Continue to climb upwards. Let's see where we get the better view. We'll get the better view out of this side for now. So I'm going to grab the VFR map. There we go. Let's see. entertainment lined up. So I'm gonna go put the kettle on, make myself a cup of tea, and I will leave you with a little bit of entertainment for the climb, and then I've got another one for a little bit further along in the cruise, and then we will be probably in a position to start debriefing or briefing our descent. So enjoy, and I will catch up with you in a few minutes, and I'll be back in chat.
Undoubtedly have been under the delusion, or shall I say misapprehension, that we of the cartoon animal kingdom are lacking in the finer sensibilities. Now, to disprove this, we shall ask you to forget our form of pranks and playfulness. We ask you in the name of dignity and art to put yourselves in a receptive frame of mind, and not to expect of us the foolery and clowning you generally associate us with. And now, to an all-musical program. Alas, alas, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray.
Okay, well, I hope you're all enjoying the flight. I think it's time to take a look at the arrival. We're starting to get a little bit closer. So first thing I'm going to do is blast off another weather request, just to see if there's any changes. And I'll come over here and sync to our altitude. That's where we got to be. So 60 miles out from that VOR QIT. Start our descent to 18,000 feet. Now, why are we descending to 18,000 feet? Well, let's take a look at the approach plate for the runway. As I mentioned, there is no star for Quito, but we do have an ILS approach, and this is the approach we're coming in on. So we're going to be landing on runway 36. It is the ILS for 36, and up here you can see QIT. That is the VOR there. So we're going to come in here at 18,000 feet. Zoom in, we can see a little bit better. You can see here at QIT 18,000 feet. We maintain 18,000 feet until we reach D6 of the QIT VOR. you can see here, and then we start our descent. At D19, we have to be at 14,200 feet. And we maintain that until we get to R224 here. And then you can see by this, we then start a 3.66 degree downslope to get us down to 10,500 feet by probably just out here before the VOR. And then when we hit the VOR, we've got to be at 10,500, and then we will be intercepting the ILS at that point. As you can see, we have mountains all around us. So it's going to be a very interesting approach. And the weather's not looking too great. So let's go take a look at the weather now. Get rid of that off the screen. See what it says. So, messages received, weather, print it. Have the weather, take a look. So, SEQM at, it's about an hour and 15 minutes ago. Winds are 230 at 2. Few at 1600, broken at 10,000, 15 is the temperature, and 1030 is the altimeter. Alright, so start entering that in. Move. Just over there for the moment. So QNH is 1030. Temperature was 15 degrees. Winds are 230 at 0. Or 230 at 2. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. And for the ILS here, I'm going to put in the Cat 2. Is 8,040 feet, so 8040. Put that in. I'm just trying to decide. I'm going to go with the radar altimeter of 130 instead. Just in case the clouds are lower, we end up having to go below and leave around autopilot a bit longer. So 1030, we'll dial that in now. Not sure what, going the wrong way. There we go, 1030. Dialed in on the standby, and that's all set. Now, given the altitude of the airport and the length of the runway is 13,500, we're going to be doing a flaps 3 landing just to keep our speed up because of our higher altitude. Alright, so put you back down here. And we're going to have to go on the overhead, and we're going to have to click the flaps 3 landing configuration button. The airport's already coming into range, and we are 130 miles out, so it's 60, 40, 50, 60, 70 miles out from our descent point. So we're not doing too bad. Like I said, this is a short flight. Why you're detecting ice up here, but let me just do this. See if that resets you. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can clear all that out. Little odd she's detecting ice when we're in the clear, but clear off all the warning messages. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the flight, there is a special giveaway that's going to be happening with friend of the channel, Willie Canuck. Again, that is happening May 9th on Sky Blue Radio, 1300 Zulu. He has Winfred Dykman, the CEO of Aerosoft, on, and they will be giving away the Microsoft Flight Sim Premium Deluxe Edition and the Aerosoft CRJ 550-700, which is the base model of the CRJ. Again, that is May 9th at 1300 Zulu, Sky Blue Radio. There's a link in the description that will take you to the page that explains the giveaway and what you have to do in order to enter. Again, that's friend of the channel, Willie Canuck. Give him a shout and listen in and play some good music on there as well. Time for our other entertainment today. Okay, we can save it for the next one. Everything is looking good. Got about, what have we got? 50 miles to go. Start our descent down into that wonderful looking approach. So I'm going to tune in a couple things and make sure they are tuned in. One of which is the ILS, which I think will get a little bumpy. Turn the seatbelt signs on. So we'll go into our rad nav. So 109.3 is dialed in. That's the IQS. That is the VOR. We're going to change. We're going to put in two other VORs here. We're going to put in QIT, which is going to be our primary as we hit those waypoints. And the other one is QSV. That is the one we're going to use towards the end as we're coming in for the landing. And the missed approach is we're going to climb straight across the runway, the VOR, to QNV at 10,600 feet. Then we do a left turn to QIT and enter a hold at 18,000 feet or in accordance with ATC instructions. So we'll just end up doing the loop again if we do a missed approach. Dial in 3 VORs, but we'll have to bear that in mind. It is a direct out, though, to get to that other VOR. So that is all entered in now. Icing not detected, so these can come off. Probably gonna have to put them on when we descend down. Kind of stabled up a little bit more.
Off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move around the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when needed in case of unexpected turbulence.
Go back to the progress page. Keep monitoring that. We're down to 85. We want to go down to 60, so we're only 25 miles. From QIT YT now. The thing about these waypoints is we've got speed restrictions here as well, so we're going to be using these spoilers. When we do that bottom arc, as you can see at the bottom here, we have to be down to 180 knots, so that's going to be flaps 1. And when we intercept the glide slope, we're only 7 miles out, so we'll probably intercept the glide slope, gear down, and then rough cycle through on flaps 2, flaps 3. Should be interesting. Just gotta remember to watch those altitudes. You can see why. There's like the mountains right there. You can see we're flying over this range, and this town is in the mountains. 7, almost 8,000 foot elevation on the runway. For some reason that weather seems to end right there at that line. 69 to go. 18,000. Oh, that got switched around. Knowing me, I probably forgot to change. 63. Yeah, it's just over that waypoint. 60 miles out. It's 59. So down we go. We're going to set a descent rate of 1,900 feet. And we'll peg our speed at 270.
To assist with customs at our destination, flight attendants will begin handing out forms momentarily. Please review and complete these forms and keep them with you for presentation upon arrival.
Quito traffic, TAM 5556. These radios are driving me nuts. It's almost like if you're not using them or hearing things, they just decide to go off on their own channel. Quito traffic, TAM 5556, leaving flight level 360 for the ILS runway 36 at Quito. Let's you in. Better into range. I get rid of the map now. Our estimated arrival is in about 28 minutes. board estimate's kind of off. I was saying we should have had. It's blank now. Interesting little glitch there. No, we'll be okay. We're in idle now. We just send down. So there's seatbelts on, portable devices are on. Hi, flight fan. Well, we're heading into our descent. It was a short flight today, so. But you are going to see an interesting approach.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it is time to return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
We're landing in the mountains. So we're getting within 40 miles. I'm going to turn the train radar on again. $30 miles to QIT. Oh, good. Yeah, second screens are very handy. I think, this will be a relatively simple approach. It's just sort of left loop, but I'm hoping. I know the autopilot, when we hit deceleration, the autopilot's going to want to do its own thing. It's going to take us off some weird heading. It's hoping all the waypoints are in. Probably gonna have to go direct to at some point. So we're not out of 20 miles out. Oh, it's kind of late for that, isn't it? I'm going to slow down to, I know we're still high altitude, but I'm going to slow down to 250 by the time we get down to QIT. Just to kind of control that speed. We do have that steep descent we're going to have to do as well at one point. I want to make sure we're ahead of the game. We got this weather. Temperature's 5 degrees, so it's going up. We may not need de-ice. The clouds. Oh, Amazon, yeah. I've had deliveries around 6 o'clock or so, but never anything much later than that. Alright, so there's 10 miles. speed back to 250. Do a little bit of speed brake as well. Put the landing systems on. Get the anti-ice up and running. Seatbelt signs are already on. Turn lights on now. Runway turn-offs on as well. I know it looks like we're high, but things are going to start happening fairly quickly here. And single pilot operation here. So all our anti-ice is on. Everything is good. Get those VORs on now as well. Not going to be down low enough. Increasing that rate of descent. Well, we do got an extra 6 miles before we have to start our descent. Okay, so there's the first turn. F.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passengers and cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the back pocket or
once we've intercepted.
Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger electronics.
6 miles from QIT, we descend to 14,200. And the airport's pretty much right off to our left here. Showing up on the chart pad. So 14,200. There's 6 miles, down we go. $1 a.m. Yeah, I know for you it's a late one, but for me it's a nice evening flight. Coming back. So 19 miles out, we gotta be down to 180 knots. Let's do that. Let's do that. In that mode. There we go, we're now in approach mode. Still tracking fine. A little bit more on the speed brake. Well, you can always watch it after. So we're deep into the clouds here. There's 15 miles coming up, 4 more to go, and we have to be at 180. Heavy looking clouds out there. hold 14.4 until we get to D224. Kind of that one there. It's fine. Or 14.2, let's say. First knots of flaps coming out. Intercept altitude is 10,500. So we're going to maintain 14.2. Whoa, the lightning. Down to 10.5. There's the turn. Down we go. Flaps 2 now. That speed coming back a bit more. In the little area of mountains, as you can see. Yeah, I like flying around the world. You see different places. Well, not that you can see anything here, but you get to see different places, go to different airports. I like it on VatSim when there's controllers around as well. It's pretty cool. So we're trying to descend down, put the gear down. Make this turn, we can go to the localizer. There's the turn. And this is a little bit nerve-wracking. It's going to the waypoints, which is good. It hasn't tried this flying me into a mountain or something. Alright, so it's taking us to that VOR. Going to go to the rad nav, and I'm going to type in the QNV VOR. QNV. Put that in 1. That is in case of the missed approach. Wall of rock right beside us there off to the right. Absolutely cannot see.
2,500.
So when this hits the 2.5 mile point, I'll hit approach mode. Glide slopes just come up. Alright, so we're below the glide slope, which is very good. And we have 2.5 miles from QSV VOR to where we intercept. So, cabin. Speed brakes will now arm. Flaps config 3. Now leveled out. Just 2.5 miles. Arming the approach. And once we're established, we'll go to Cat 3 dual, although we only got a Cat 2 certification for this airport. Alright, that's the localizer. Put a wind. Quito traffic, TAM 5556 established on the ILS runway 36. Flaps 3. It's in landing configuration now. And we are on the glide slope. Decision height is 130 feet off the radar altimeter. Airport elevation is about 7,900 and something. So the radar altimeter is going to bounce around quite a bit until we get down into the airport. Mainly because of the rocks and the terrain we're in. Glide slope. And we are on the low glide slope. So we're good. Icing's not detected. Quickly going to turn off the anti-ice. Just in case we need the power to get out of here.
1,000.
1,000 feet to go, nothing in sight. Oh, start to see some ground. Out of the mist. Have the runway in sight. Wow.
1,000.
This looks incredible.
1,000.
'We're on track on the Pappies. We're on track on the glide slope. See the mountains. We can see the end of the runway, which is incredible, the important thing. You can see the cloud off the other end, just blocking out everything.
500. 400. 300. 300. 200.
All right, we're landing.
Minimum 100.
High, so we're gonna get her down.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
A little firm. Reverser's activated. Slowing down. Put the auto brake on because I figured it would be a pretty far, or a long runway we could land, but man, she wants to roll.
Quito traffic, land to the 1880 established runway 36.
Alright. Down at the far end, so we got a bit of a taxi here, but that's
Ladies
fine.
and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 10:48 a.m. and it's currently about 70 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have been shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to
Oh, there's
ensure a
Nick's
smooth
lights.
continuation of your journey.
Quito traffic, TAM 5556 is clear, runway 36. Alright, so we're gonna taxi down, then come off, come off, back to standby, weather radar and PWS are off, make sure we're still tracking, and these lights will come off, strobes will come off, turn off lights will come off. A little bit of power up here because we're at altitude. Taxi going. And we're going to taxi down to the terminal. Yeah, it was great. Great landing there, Flight Fan. I love the clouds and the way you broke out there and you can see everything. That's why I'm going to enjoy flying these flights down here in South America for the next number of weeks. It really, it's something different. Something I haven't been before and haven't seen. Alright, so we're just gonna come down here. We'll see Nick land as we head back down to the terminal. So there's a lesson for you. Even though you've got a super long runway, when you're up at these altitudes, auto brake. Because you just want it to keep rolling. I guess because of the altitude, the reversers don't have the same impact and significance that they would on the ground. Yeah, let's go to... here. Now, go to this view. Watching it coming in. There's that thunder again. I'm surprised it isn't raining, actually. Hey, Flight Fan, take a look at some of the general aviation flights I've been doing and posting up with Nick and Willie Canuck and stuff. We've flown to some really scenic areas. If you like flying in small ones, you can flying across the grass there. Small general aviation aircraft. No, auto brakes are they'll just automatically put the brakes on at a certain preset level. There's 3, there's low, medium, and then there's a maximum setting. They just automatically apply the brakes so you don't have to do it initially. There's Nick. So they have nothing to do with auto landing. They do come on automatically, and they will. I think they show up on the ECAM as auto brakes on, but I know that they'll be illuminated. And then just to take them off when you're ready, you just tap the brakes and they disengage. So we're gonna go in here. We're gonna park up. There's an Emirates over there. Interesting. There's another one. There's a Baron, Beach Baron coming in as well. It's not me not looking at the screen while I'm doing that. So we're gonna head over to the gates. Aeropuerto Internacional Marcial Sucro de Quito. Very good. We're just gonna go into the first one here. We'll get where we can see the nose wheel, so we know where to stop. And here we go. Back inside. parking brake is set. Right, so the nav aids are off. FCU reset. Turn off everything there. Turn that off. Turn off the VORs. Flight directors are off. Auto thrust is off. Autopilot is off. Thrust levers are in idle. And anti-ice is off. Hook up to ground power. Let's get the jetway out. Here she comes. So ground power is connected. Engine masters both off. There's the logbook. Fuel pumps coming off. Seatbelt and portable devices signs coming off. Beacon off. Leave the nav lights on. And everyone can start deboarding. And here comes Nick. So we're going to leave it at that. Thank you for joining us for this first leg of our South American tour. Planning on doing this every Sunday morning. Nick will join when he's able to. And I'm sure we're going to see lots of fantastic sites like this one. It was a really interesting approach. And the weather made it all that much more so. So once again, thank you very much. One last time, a reminder, down in the description you'll find a link to the giveaway on Sky Blue Radio with friend of the channel, Willie Canuck. Go down there, hit the button, and we'll see if anyone here can win the copy of Microsoft Flight Simulator and the CRJ. Once again, thank you very much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye for now.